What's up, my YouTube family? It's your favorite broker and host, Wayne Chappelle, and I am back with another video. And, before I get into the topic of this video, which is going to be about goal setting, and this is a continuation of, little mini series I have on business plans and business planning. But before I get into that, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Not for those of you who have been tuning into, my past videos, but, to the new people to the channel and to the community who are wondering, who am I, right? So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. So again, my name is Wayne Chappelle. I'm the host of the channel, and a little bit of background on me is that I am a licensed real estate broker. I'm based out of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm licensed in 4 states as a licensed real estate broker, from North Carolina to Florida. And in my 13-year career, I have done over $250 million in real estate sales. So that's over $250 million in real estate deals. And I have over 1,000 transactions closed. And as always, I've been a solo agent and I've been on teams, but I mentioned this in my past videos. I always like to give homage and pay homage to my team, because without my team, I would not be here today. And they're the reason that I've had this tremendous success in the past 18 months to 2 years. So with that being said, that's who I am. That's what I've done. Now let's jump into the topic of today's video, which again is about goal setting. So as I mentioned in the previous videos, we kicked the video off with, do you have a business plan? And, there's a saying out there, it may be a little cliche, but it does make sense. Failing to plan is planning to fail, right? So if you don't have a plan set up, then, the likelihood of you failing is pretty high. And I'm not going to go over specific numbers here, but there are numbers out there to prove this, and specifically in the real estate industry, because like I mentioned in my previous videos, real estate in our industry, we have a serious problem with real estate dropouts, right? There's a high failure rate in the real estate industry, and that's one of the reasons that I am here on YouTube, why I'm doing real estate coaching, why I'm doing mentoring. These are primary reasons why I'm doing that, right? I'm trying to satisfy a very tangible and valuable and critical need within the real estate community, to reduce this, real estate dropout rate. And there's a lot of work to be done, trust me, and I can't do it alone. Hopefully some more of you, will jump in to solve this problem. But right now, I'm here. I know there's others here in this space doing the same thing. But, this is what we're trying to accomplish, right? Well, what I'm trying to accomplish anyway, and hopefully you guys help me along this journey and this path. But in regards to goal setting, right? So in the business plan, if you don't have one, I said you need to go out and get that done immediately. You need to have your mission statement, your SWOT analysis, which stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I covered that in the previous video. And, today's video is about goal setting. And I want to give you an acronym, right? And this is not specific to real estate. This is kind of anything that you're trying to set up, whether it be a personal goal, a business goal, or a real estate goal. This spreads a wide variety of themes and, things that you do in life. So you can apply this to pretty much anything. But I'm talking about goals, and what I'm going to give you an acronym so you can remember this, and this is not something that I made up. This is, across many industries, business people know about this specifically, is about setting SMART goals, right? And SMART goals, the actual word SMART is an acronym, right? So it stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound, right? So once again, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound, right? So when you look at SMART goals, you're looking at specific, right? You want to get as specific as you can with setting up your goals. For instance, I can give you an example. In the real estate industry, right? And this number seems to pop up in a lot of people's head when I ask, consulting and coaching of new agents, I say, how much money do you want to make in the real estate industry? And the magic number always seems to be, I want to make $100,000, right? So that's a goal that you want to make, but that's not specific. That's not exactly, you don't know how you're going to get there. You just spit that number out there, and you don't even really know, there's a high probability you don't even know if $100,000 is really what you want. I just noticed that to be like the magic number. I don't know where people get up, come up with that number, but at least 90% of the time, when I ask the question, how much money do you want to make in real estate? It's always, I want to make 100 grand. So let's use that number since it seems to be really popular, right? And I mentioned in what I do in my industry, in my area where I am in my market, right? I've done over 250 million in real estate sales volume and over 1,000 transactions closed. So my average price point is 250,000, right? So I'm going to use that number as the average price of the home because that's pretty typical here in the Southeast. So out of $100,000, and your average price point is about 250,000, and the average real estate commission rate, right? And I hate to be specific about this because it should be determined by the market, and most definitely it is. But the average rate is about 6%. You split that in half, and it's half for the listing side, half for the selling side. So your average commission, let's just say, is about 3%, right? So out of that 3% on a $250,000 home, you're looking at about $7,500 in GCI, right? GCI is your gross commission income. That's before any franchise fees, any broker splits, any MLS fees, etc., right? Business expenses or what have you. So out of that GCI, right, that $7,500, you're looking at about a 20%, fall through or fallout rate. So you're not going to be able to close all of these deals out of that, out of this figure that you're setting. So you always want to factor in about 20% due to fallout, whether it can be, a low appraisal, change of heart, repaired, negotiations falling through. Whatever is going to cause your deals to basically fall apart and you're not able to get them closed. So it's about 20% on average. So these are the type of specific goals that I'm talking about when you're setting up your goals. You want to start breaking things down so you understand how you're going to get to that magic number, if that's your number, $100,000 in real estate, right? So when you break that down, it's going to tell you basically, how many transactions you need to close, right? So if you break that down over the average that I gave you, right, you want to make $100,000 in GCI, average, price point of the home is 250,000. Your average commission is about 3%, and you're going to have about a 20% fallout rate. So you're going to be looking at around 14 deals. You got about 14 transactions that you got to close that year within the 12-month period to basically hit that $100,000 GCI. So this is what I'm talking about, being specific in your goal setting. The next is measurable, and we can get into that in another video. But that has to do with KPIs, which is your key performance indicators. You start digging into your metrics of your business. You start dealing, and digging into analytics of your business and starting to figure out, what's going on in regards to, measuring your progress and your success that's going to get you to that goal of, $100,000 GCI. And, maybe when I think about it, $100,000 in gross commission income, or that's, the magic number that you want to, basically make your first year of real estate, is because a lot of people feel like that's attainable, right? So, and that leads to the next part of the SMART, acronym is, having an attainable goal. So you need to set something that's attainable that you can reach, right? So you don't want to set something that's, all the way out there that you're not going to be able to reach, because you're not going to be, motivated to hit that goal. You might start off motivated, and then you realize that you set your goal so far out that, it starts to become disturbing that, it's taking you so long to reach that goal. So you need to be able to reel that in a little bit so that you can stay motivated and stay on track to reaching a goal that's obtainable. Because, like I said, if you set it out too far, the way you measure things, the percentages are going to be so tiny, tiny increments, that it's going to feel like you're not really making any progress. So, you need to reel those goals in to where, any and all progress that you're making, you're going to be able to see it and say, hey, all right, I'm making an impact. It's not just going to be a drop in the bucket. If you sit a bucket under a leaky faucet and it's just dripping, if you're standing there watching it, you're like, there's nothing going on here, right? It's just the bucket is getting wet. But you come back after a long period of time and that bucket's going to start to fill up. So, keep your goals small, at least to start off. It's nothing wrong with, aiming for the moon and shooting for the stars. But you want to start in the beginning setting something up that's attainable, that you can reach, that's going to keep you motivated and keep you on track to make that happen. And obviously, the next one is being, relevant goals, being relevant. So if you're in real estate, I just gave you relevant goals, right? I set it out, with an example that I had in the Southeast in my market, where, to do real estate transactions, whether you're on the buy side, sell side, average price point is about $250,000. So relevant meaning, how do you get to that $100,000 GCI, right? So if you have $250,000, $250,000 is your average price point of the home. That's letting that is relevant to what you're doing, and that the number of transactions that you need to be able to close, in your real estate path or trajectory that you're trying to reach. And last but not least, and I know I'm getting long-winded with this video, I try to keep things concise. Last one is time bound, right? You're bound by a timeline. So I mentioned you're trying to get that $100,000 in 12 months or a year. So you need to start breaking that down. So you have, and I mentioned this in another video, where you have the your full 12 months or your year that you're trying to make this $100,000. So a lot of people just don't come out in the first month or the last month and try to kill it and meet their goals, because you're not going to be successful. You need to be able to pace yourself and be able to track yourself over time. And if you don't have a timeline set up, meaning that, I just want to make $100,000 in whenever, you're not going to be on track or have any direction of how to hit that number. If you want to hit $100,000 in your whole 20-year real estate career, you're not going to be very successful, even though you reach that $100,000. So if you're trying to hit $100,000 gross commission income in 1 year, you need to be able to measure that and bound it by time, put it on your timeline. So out of that 12 months, you need to be able to break that down into quarters. Like I mentioned before, you need to break it down into, first half of the year, second half of the year, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Breaking it down by month, you got 12 months that you can measure your results. And also breaking it down into week. What are you going to do this week to, obtain that monthly goal, that quarterly goal, that half-year goal, that full year goal, to get you to where you want to be with that $100,000 in GCI. And you can even break it down further than that, getting into hourly, all the way down to the micro level of setting your timeline to make you reach the bigger goal that's out there. So just to cover these again, the acronym is S.M.A.R.T, right? So it's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's relevant, and it's time bound. So those are the key elements of setting your goal setting, and specific goals in particular, to help you, move along and set up yourself for success in a real estate game. So with that being said, I always thank you guys for watching my videos. And if you're still listening to me, at this point in the video, we're about 14 minutes into it. I feel truly blessed to have you here. Thank you for watching my video. As always, I'd like you to put your comments down below. Give me some feedback. Like I said, this channel is about you guys. I'm still a little bit rusty with this whole YouTube thing. I'm trying to, get myself and follow my goals and get myself, to remain on track as far as my YouTube journey that I'm doing. So please please subscribe. Most importantly, put your comments down below. And as always, have a blessed day and go out there and make it happen. And I'll see you on the next video.